I didn't even think about it. I should have gotten you a new photo for the little thing here because it's less now.
Oh, isn't it like 75 now?
Yeah, it's 77.6.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That is pretty awesome. Now, I'm going to ask you to do an introduction. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we got our first viewer. We
Yeah.
can begin.
I remember.
All right. Welcome. And for people that are coming late, welcome to you as well. Glad you made it. I'm Coach Tom, and I am with a very special guest today for our Friday CSI Live. Hope, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself to all the viewers watching the live stream or watching the replay?
Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm very big on there. Hi everybody. My name's Hope. If you haven't seen me before in my posts in the group, I know I'm not the biggest poster, but I know I get a lot of response when I do. I have been a GH fasting warrior since the beginning of May of this year. And should I drop the bombshell right now, Tom, or tell them more before I get to that?
Where do you live? What do you do? Who are you from? Do you have any kids? Do you have a husband? Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? I mean, tell us about
Okay.
you, the
Okay.
person Hope.
Well, I am currently I live in Illinois, the suburbs of Chicago. It's not where I'm originally from. I'm originally from Michigan, so equally cold, but I lived a large chunk of my life in Arizona and I miss it terribly. I'm so jealous of you, Coach Tom, living out there in California, I gotta say. Let's see. I have a significant other. Um, and I'm going to tell you this. I've never mentioned this to you, Coach Tom, but the reason he's a significant other and not a husband is because not long after we got together is when I gained the weight and I wanted to look good in my wedding photos.
Oh, wow.
So you may launch me actually finally tying the knot with him.
Wow. And it's kind of like
Yes,
it all came together, huh? The
yes,
weight loss
yes,
and the marriage.
yeah. And
Well,
I have two kids and a dog and two cats. So yeah, and my kids are both teenagers, 19 and 15, both boys.
wow. Well, I think a lot of people watching this can relate. Speaking of which, if you're watching us live, let us know live and where you're from and who you are, especially if you haven't clicked that link to show your profile. And if you're watching the replay, do the same. Replay who you are and where you're watching us from. Because since I made this slide, this has even changed. Hope is a living example of how frustration can turn into success and how struggle can turn into strength and how lifestyles can shift. Hello, Sonia. Sonia, you'll be on one of these on one of these someday soon. All right, and that's the whole purpose. Because I'm not a woman. I'm a guy. In case you can tell by my slight goatee or other masculine features. But in any case, but I understand women's hormones and I understand that it's metabolic and emotional. And talking with you over the months, especially recently, I realized that there was some definite metabolic things going on, some emotional things going on. But you just got in the car, put your foot on the gas, and made progress ever since. And that has been eye opening for myself, for other people, and probably for you as well. So, what I want us to do is share a little bit about your story and your weight loss progress because everybody, I would say 99.4% of all women that tune in, they have weight to lose and they're frustrated because they can't. And when Hope was younger, she was a size 3. High school, she was only 105 pounds. And yes, she's only 5 feet tall. But her weight went up and up and up and up and up. Now, before we talk about what happened from high school to 48 when she got to her highest of 315. Let's talk about where she's at now. She started off 315. And by July, she was down to 275. And this is all from GH fasting, hormone healthy foods, mindset shifts, metabolic shifts, and really getting her hormones healthy again. Not through dieting and excessive workouts, but actually by balancing her hormones. Down to 275. Thank you, by the way, of posting these pictures. Give everyone some proof as it's going on. September, she's down to 253. Life's looking different. More proof, just in case you like to see the scale pictures as we go, and her toes. Thank you for sharing those.
I should probably do my toes. Like purple nail polish or something.
You know, I like the truth there, and I really like your face pictures too, showing that changing. Now, metabolic hormones are changing: insulin, glucagon, cortisol, leptin, ghrelin, growth hormone. But if the emotional hormones are keeping anyone stuck, it's going to be very hard to break through plateaus. And we've hit a couple plateaus, but Hope was very open minded. Now, today she's down to 237. How many pounds is that in total you've lost, Hope?
It's not quite 78 pounds. I'm
Not,
at like 77.6 pounds, so not quite 78,
well,
teetering
let's
around
say
78.
77 pounds, almost 78. Yay. In your most
Yes.
authentic language, how is life different now, 237, than it was at 315?
Oh my goodness. I am so much happier now. Joy is the emotion that comes to mind. And I can move easier now. I can do things easier. What else? I actually it's kind of a funny thing that happened a couple weeks ago. Because I've gotten my family not completely doing everything, but they are doing a few things. I've gotten them to change a few things. And we took an Uber to my son's football game the other day, and it never fails when it's all of us. They always send out the tiniest little car, and we're all kind of all crunched in there. And I noticed it was significantly less tight in there the last time we had to do that. We all like fit comfortably, even in this tiny little car. And just, yeah, everything is just so much better.
I can 100% believe and relate to what you're saying. Now, you said the word comfortable. Like a lot of women, and I believe you even share that you weren't feeling comfortable in your own skin.
No.
How, let's talk about that. Like, can you remember how it felt to be 315
Oh,
and
yeah.
compared to now? Like, let's try to go back to that time where, oh my gosh. Because I remember
I
you did one
I
of
did
our
not feel like myself. What?
you did one of our low barrier programs, one of our intro programs, and
Yeah.
you like sought me out and said, "Let's get. I want to do
Yes.
the 90-day." And after that, you said, "I want to solve this problem once and for all." Uh, how was it? How was life being uncomfortable in your own skin back in before we chatted in May?
Um, it was I did not feel like myself. I would avoid the mirror. I mean, I have my bathroom has like this huge mirror that takes up like the whole wall, and I'd go in to brush my teeth and with my head down, and I wouldn't look at myself. I just I did not like who I was. I just it was awful. That was it. It was awful.
But it's not awful anymore.
No. I may not be at my goal weight, but it's not awful anymore.
But you're progressively making progress every month.
Mhm.
And if you get stuck a bit, we break through it pretty quickly.
Yep. Even on days, I mean, like I weigh myself every single morning. I weigh myself, and I mean, it was not. I mean, I have that nice little straight down, and for the most part, that has been it. But I mean, there have been days when it would go up a couple pounds. But normally, when I'm dieting and it goes up, I'm like, here we go again. Not anymore, because I know, you know what? Couple more days, I'll be gone. It'll go away, and it'll take some of its friends with it, and it'll break right through this, and I don't even stress about it anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And it's for everyone watching. It's not your day-to-day weight that matters. That weight does matter to me for data, but it's not the old school, hey, I lost weight, I gained weight, I was successful today, I wasn't successful today. It's the weekly average that matters. Because when you're adjusting your hormones and healing them, and you are actually activating growth hormone and glucagon again, those are the fat burning hormones. Your weight's going to fluctuate tremendously, tremendously. So your weekly average, as long as it's lower than the week before, then we are on the right track. So it's almost like a mindset shift you made along the way. Well, it's exactly what it is. Shifting
Mm.
your the importance you placed on the daily weight, realizing that day-to-day weight doesn't matter as much as the overall weekly average and the drop each week from the week before and the month before. So let's talk about what happened. I mean, yeah, I had you down for 75. You're down like almost 78 pounds.
Yep.
And so even over the last week, you've had a small breakthrough where the weight started coming off again. I'll take it. I'll take some of its friends with it. Love that hope. Yeah, they lost some pounds and lost some of their friends too.
Yep.
Here's the
Usually it's
thing.
the other way. It brings its friends with it. Nope, it's taking its friends. They're moving out finally. They're being
Your
evicted.
yes, and your hormones are telling your body, "Hey, let's return to our natural state,
Mm-hmm.
our natural metabolic weight point. Instead of where I've been stuck for these years, let's get back to what we normally feel great at." Now, I'm going to get nerdy scientific for a bit, and then we're going to talk about how the weight came on. Everyone, please listen to this part. Forget everything you think you know about weight loss, everything science and your nutritionist and your doctor and your last coach and your last trainer told you. And if I was your coach 20 years ago or even 15 years ago, forget what I told you. It's not calories in, calories out. Calories matter less than you realize. What does matter is the messages you're consistently sending your body. Because if you're telling your body to store fat, it will. If you're telling your body to use fat for energy, it will. The problem is we don't realize the messages we're sending to our body. And there's two different ways we communicate: hormones and neurochemicals. Now, here's where it gets fun. Yes, when you postpone food the right way and eat the right foods, you will release fat burning hormones. Those are your metabolic hormones. But if you are thinking negative thoughts about yourself and feeling negative emotions about yourself and about your life, you're going to increase cortisol. And when cortisol levels are high, your body is always going to be in fat storage mode, fight or flight. And so you're kind of working against yourself. So the emotional hormones and neurochemicals, they matter almost as much and sometimes as much and more as the metabolic hormones. So not addressing those would be an injustice, and it also would not shift everything that needs to shift. So, Hope, what is your overall goal?
Um, you mean weight wise or like everything or
You can say let's talk about your health, your weight and health right now.
okay. Weight wise, about 100-ish pounds. I mean, it kind of depends. I'm hoping there'll be a little muscle on there that never used to be there before. So, around 100-ish. And health wise, um, Well, I'm type 2 diabetes, so like keeping that in normal ranges, which I have already hit since starting this program. I was at like 213 blood sugar the day before I started, and I've gotten down to like the 70s and 80s, like normal, not just pre-diabetic or whatever they want to call it, actual normal.
Are you on
Um,
any type 2 diabetic medicine?
no,
Oh,
no
that's a
medicine.
win. Huge win. So
And
increase your muscle tone and decrease the body fat.
yes.
And I'm going to use this opportunity. Your weight does not matter. What matters is the percentage of your body that is muscle and the percentage of your body that is fat. Your BMI does not matter. What matters is what percentage of your body weight is fat and what percentage of your body weight is muscle. So increasing lean muscle mass and decreasing fat mass, that's what it's all about. So if I were to ask you to make one mindset shift, everyone watching this, stop saying I want to lose weight and start saying I want to lose fat. Because you want to keep the muscle, in fact, tone it even more, and you want to lose body fat. There's a huge difference, and there's a different way to do it. You don't lose body fat by dieting. You lose muscle mass and body fat by dieting. When you balance your hormones, your emotional hormones and your metabolic hormones, it teaches your body to burn fat naturally. And before we go into how Hope gained the weight and her journey there, I want to make this really clear. There is so many medications out there now, especially with semaglutide coming out. It's a GLP-1, glucagon-like factor 1. It's called glucagon-like peptide 1, which basically mimics glucagon so you don't feel hungry. Well, there's that, and there's an arsenal of other menopausal relief, HRTs, weight loss potions, pills, prescriptions, patches, and pellets. But here's the thing, and here's the takeaway. If you're going to take notes, write this down. Your body is your best pharmacy. Your HPA access is your best doctor. Your body knows how to heal itself. You just have to give it space and the reminder to do just that. Your body is your best doctor. Now, if you are an outlier, you're way, you're really in medical danger, then of course you need to get medicine to get you out of that. But I would say if you are considering going on any type of medication, I encourage you to give your body a chance to heal itself. It is your best pharmacy, your best healing agent. And we have these blocks, we have these programs, because if you've been overweight for a while and you feel frustrated, it's not only your metabolic hormones that are out of balance. And by the way, when you go through any menopausal transition, ages 35 on up, your hormones automatically go out of whack for a while. But they will realign if you give them the right messages. Now, what we think about ourselves when we're by ourselves, what other people tell us about ourselves, the emotions, the beliefs. I call these your SP programs. And SP means self protective. Maybe at one point they protected you, but now they're actually keeping you stuck because they release cortisol, norepinephrine, and other fight or flight hormones, which makes your body store fat. So I'll stress this again, the metabolic hormones and the emotional hormones, when you align both of those and you do them simultaneously, losing weight is inevitable. And Hope is great example of that. And one of the reasons Hope is getting results so quickly is she didn't have, for whatever reason, maybe it was my witty attitude or my full haircut, she believed what I was telling her. And she went all in right from the beginning, and her results have been great. Now, if you're a woman watching this, you're thinking, man, I tried a million things, none of them worked, wasted a lot of time and money. I mean, I don't believe anything anymore. I get it. But as soon as your belief changes and you believe that your body will heal itself, and you believe that if it's working for all these other women, it'll work for you too, it will work faster. But most women need a lot more evidence before they go all in than Hope did. And that's one of the big reasons you made so much progress so quickly. There's other women that are following your footsteps too, going all in. But you know what? It was not always rainbows and gumdrops and unicorns and dancing watermelon seeds. I don't know.
Empty watermelon seeds.
Yeah, there was some tough times.
Uh,
So let's if you could talk us through, and really I want to think about what was happening because you knew it was your hormones the whole time,
mhm.
but the doctors didn't believe you,
Nope, they did not.
and you continued to have life events which triggered your emotional hormones. And then when you hit your perimenopause and menopause phase, the weight really started going up.
Hmm.
Talk us through high school ends, you have your first big weight gain, you lose it again. What's this phase look like?
Okay, actually, my first weight gain was before high school. Now, I'm going to start off with saying I was not the fat kid. I have the person trying to lose weight, like, oh, I've always had a problem. I was not. I was the really, really skinny kid. My sister's nickname for me was spaghetti legs. Um, I was probably underweight when I was 11 years old. I don't couldn't tell you what my exact weight was, but I'm sure I was slightly underweight. My mom was a little concerned because I was so skinny. And then it was like I went to bed and woke up the next morning overweight when I was 12 years old, right when puberty hit. That was my very first weight gain. And I went from like maybe, I mean, what slightly underweight for a 4'8", 11-year-old, maybe like 65 pounds or so to 130 practically overnight. And then by the time I was 14, I weighed 170. And then my hormones started mellowing out, periods got regular. Um, PMS was there, but I wasn't crying over every single thing and everything started petering out. And that's when I was 105 and stayed there all through high school up until um, late teens, early 20s. And that's when I got married and my wedding dress was a size 3. And I started taking the birth control pill and then my weight absolutely skyrocketed right back up to 170 again.
Hormones.
Yep.
Birth control impacts your hormones.
Yep.
And in fact, not only does it impact your hormones, it also completely wrecks your gut microbiome. Am I saying don't go on birth control? Absolutely not. But I am saying be very aware that when you bring in an artificial hormone, no hormone works alone. When you bring in one artificial hormone, it impacts all the other hormones. And it really impacted yours because your weight goes up. And then you lose some weight. What happens here when you get up to 190?
Um, well, I'd gone back down to 105 after I decided, you know what? I'm not using these things anymore. I literally flushed them down the toilet. I was having other issues, not just, yeah, those hormones are no joke. I was having a lot of issues, not just the weight gain, but I got fed up. My doctors weren't believing me. They're telling me stop eating junk food and do some cardio. And I flushed them, went down to 105 again, and
Wait, you're
well, I'm
telling
not
your
using.
doctors that it's your hormones, but the doctors are saying just eat less and exercise more.
Yes. Yeah, basically,
You
basically.
have no idea how many women have this same story. Just
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with you. Just eat less and exercise more.
Mhm. Tell me quit eating the french fries. There was a time in my life I didn't even know what a french fry tasted like anymore. I couldn't remember. You know? And they're telling me eat less french fries.
And
You
would you
know?
say, "Hey, I'm not eating French fries"?
Yeah. And I would tell them, and they're like, "Oh, well, you must be sneaking food in somewhere. You wouldn't look like this if you weren't sneaking food in somewhere." Yeah.
Oh, I've got to be honest real quick. Oh, this is damaging a mission. I'm just gonna come clean. I have been doing this, helping women and men lose weight for over 25 years before I specialized all in women. And there were times when I worked at gyms, owned a gym, and ran a gym that I would believe that same thing. The woman would come in and tell me she's following the meal plan, she's doing the workouts, she does not know why she can't lose the weight. And in my mind, I was thinking, I don't think she's telling me the truth. I bet she's eating stuff and she's not admitting it. And you know what? I did not know back then what I know now how big of an impact hormones have. And I wish I would have. So if you're one of those women watching this, I'm so sorry. I did not know, but I do now. And unfortunately, a lot of doctors still don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
It's very
realize
true.
that if the hormones are out of whack, they will sweep you under the rug. They'll blow you off. They'll act like it's your fault, or they'll tell you exercise more, eat less, or they'll say, do this medication. Hopefully that'll help. And if it doesn't, let me try this one or try that one. Sounds like that happened to you all through your life.
Yep, definitely. It definitely, yeah. Um,
Wait, let me ask you
and
one more question.
okay.
When you started gaining the weight, could you tell the doctors were treating you differently?
Yes. Yes. This is farther along this little story here, but there was one point, um, at one point in time, I went to the doctor. It wasn't even about my weight. I went there because I was sick. I was really sick. I had like a stomach thing and it wasn't getting better. And I went to the doctor to try to figure out what's going on. And the doctor literally looked at me and said, "Why should I try helping you when you clearly don't care about yourself?"
What?
Yeah. I cried that night, Coach Tom. I bawled my eyes out that night.
So let me make sure I understand. You went to the doctor for something completely different than weight loss, and he said, "Why should I even bother helping you if you're not helping
Mhm.
yourself?" And
Yep.
what did he mean by that?
It was a she actually, but yeah,
It was a
she said
she.
yes. So it was another woman even. I think that's worse. I don't know. I think that might be worse. Not sure, but yeah, she basically said clearly you're not taking care of yourself. You wouldn't be this heavy if you were taking good care of yourself. And yeah, why should I help you if you clearly don't care about yourself?
How did you feel about yourself coming from an authority figure like a doctor? I mean, how did that impact your self esteem, your self image?
I was absolutely gutted. I was devastated.
For how
I
long?
just Oh, for a long time. I don't even know, months at least, years probably. I it was just like this dark cloud over me. Just yeah, I didn't even want to go to the doctor after that for anything because that's how I
I,
felt like they must all look at me like that, you know.
I am very sorry that that happened to you, and it seems like you had a lot of periods in life where you kept getting messages saying, "Hey, it's not your hormones, it's not your neurobiology, it's actually you and your behavior, and something's wrong with you as a person," instead of getting to the root cause of the problem and actually taking actions to fix it. Well, thank you for sharing that so courageously. And I believe that many other women have had experiences like that. But here's the thing, that hurts someone's feelings,
Mhm.
that hurts our self esteem. So we have to protect ourselves from that and not let it devastate us forever. But it impacts us because it's almost like a mini trauma that gets hardwired into our brain. And we, as humans, will do things to protect ourselves from that pain and that trauma. And it becomes our programs. We start believing that we don't deserve to have this health. We don't deserve to get the weight off. We don't deserve to be happy, healthy, and successful. And it becomes hardwired into our brain without
Mhm.
our permission. Like, we don't want that. We don't want to think that, but it's a subconscious program. And that's where the neurobiology comes in. What time? What point in life was that, Hope?
When the doctor told me that,
Mhm.
that was like how many years ago? It was probably about maybe somewhere between 8 and 10 years ago. So like maybe when I was around 40-ish.